So I chose to do money for my math manipulative. I have coins and amounts, and then I also have some dollar bills. So I chose this math tool because this actually helped me a lot when I was younger, learning how to count with money, and also it just was very helpful with adding and subtracting, and just having something physically in my hands to use. It just made it more, I'm more of like a tactile learner and like using my hands, so that just worked better for me, and I know it helps a lot of other students as well. And the options are endless with fake money, and there's so many different ways that you can use it in the classroom, whether it be for learning purposes, or you can actually like make games out of it, which I have a couple examples written down. So we'll just get into the standard that I chose and how I would use this tool in the classroom. So for my standard, I chose a second grade standard. This is the standard right here, which you probably can't see because it's probably backwards. So the standard that I chose is grade 2. It's MDR 6.2. Find the value of a group of coins and determine combinations of coins that equal a given amount that is less than 100 cents, and solve problems involving dollar bills, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies using the dollar sign and the cent symbols correctly. Some goals that I would say for this standard would be coin and bill values, so like learning the values of the specific coins. So for one of the goals that I chose for this standard is coin and bill values. So learning, that a dollar equals 100 pennies, for example. Or, a penny is 1 cent, and a dime is 10 cents, and a quarter is 25 cents. So things like that. Recognize and identify bills, so what a $1 bill looks like, what a quarter looks like, what a dime looks like, and so forth. Connecting money to place value, so like learning your tens, hundreds, thousands place, that kind of thing. Getting the same amount in different ways, so using different coin combinations that would equal a dollar, like 4 quarters or 100 pennies, or so forth. Some more reasons why this is a fantastic manipulative to use when teaching math in the classroom is that it makes math more concrete and fun for elementary students. I know when I was younger, I thoroughly enjoyed, I'm playing with it right now, but I really enjoyed using money. Like I said earlier, I felt like it just made it easier for me to understand, and it was also just more fun. The bills by the shape, the type, the size, the value. I would also do a money match, like matching coins to the price of something. So for example, for the money match, I would do some cards like this, and I would write 25 cents on the card and held this up to students. Then they would have to choose which coin that matches with. And you could also do it vice versa. You could have a picture of a quarter on here, and they would have to tell you what this amount equals. I would also do it with, like, maybe do a class store setup, have items like pencils, erasers, markers, crayons, just random things from the classroom, and have them all set out, and they all have different prices on them. A pencil might cost $1, an eraser might be 25 cents, and they would come and buy from the store, and they would have to give the proper amount of money. They would have to buy with exact change. Another way that you could do this is if you had a student be the cashier and another student be the customer. If the customer is paying with $1 bill and what they are buying only costs 50 cents, then the student will have to give them exact change back, which would be 50 cents. How you can use different money combinations to a certain amount of money. So for instance, like I said earlier, 100 pennies to make up $1, 4 quarters, or do 10 dimes. Doing a race game. So like me as the teacher, if I said a random number amount like $5, then the students would have to look in their money and they would have to come up with that way to give me $5 in change. Or vice versa, if I said a certain amount of change, then they would have to come up with a way to represent that. It's also really great for learning with adding and subtracting. There was a lot of different standards that it could be used for when learning with adding and subtracting. Buying things or doing something like as a cashier, you're subtracting. Also, doing like a menu type thing where there's a menu with certain prices on it and these students have to come up with the correct amount of money. An extension for older grades could be that they would have to calculate the tip or tax. So they could do either like a 2% tax or how to do a 20% tip. Also doing like a budget shopping, so giving the students a set amount of budget and they have to find the items and all of the items would be labeled with the pricing, and they'd have to get the right amount to equal what they have in their budget. It also provides students with real life money skills. I would also use it in like games and centers. So like for older grades, they could do Monopoly, or they could do like a money bingo. Feedback for student learning would be participation, that this involves students to get very involved when using money. And it is very visible and interactive for them. Students are also proving their answers with the bills and coins. So it's easy as a teacher to be able to kind of check for understanding if they are able to use the correct amount of money. It's very easy to just look and tell if they're getting it or if they're not. Students can also self-correct and check their math with the money. So it's easier to detect errors. And like I said earlier, it makes connections to the real world. So yeah, I think money is a fantastic thing to use in the classroom. There's so many different ways to use it, as I said earlier. So yeah, that's just a couple ways that I would use it in the classroom and how I would align it with a standard. So yeah, thank you guys.